$15,000 multiplied by 100 is $1.5 million. Is Luke Belmars CC23 a legendary event or a scam to make $1.5 million in a single weekend? Let's start off by addressing the assignment this YouTube video is based on. My life has not drastically changed because of Luke Belmar. My life has drastically changed because of me. I was scrolling one day and came across a young guy who said a lot of the same things I say with the same passion and intensity as I say them. Things that I had only thought or had said in private conversations to people who often looked at me perplexed. I gravitated towards Luke, not as a teacher, though I have learned from him, but in Luke I saw a kindred spirit. I am not a common kind of man, and do not often see other men who are truly like me. It was a feeling of reassurance that I am not alone that led me to continue consuming Luke's content. I'm a glitch. I didn't become one. I was one from birth. It only took discovering who I am and what this world is in order for me to break free from the matrix that had subdued me. With my 2 to 5 minutes of Luke's attention, I'm going to be pointed because I believe that's what's right. I believe that's what a glitch would do. Point 1. Was the Rolex a legit giveaway, Luke? You never respond to direct messages or even look at them by your own admission in your own video content. So how did you happen to look at the guy's message who didn't make the open meetup? How did you decide to give him the watch instead of roll it among the participants as your telegram as you originally advertised? I invited friends and family to that telegram for wisdom, but also for a motherfucking Rolex, brother. So when the Rolex gets given to a guy who's already making 5 figures a month and gets a private meeting with you, it just feels like cheap publicity. I'm sure it felt that way for many others too if you sit and think about it for a minute. I don't want a Rolex, but I would have been much happier to see it go to a random broke kid with a Nissan Altima worth 1/5 the value of that watch. That kid's life would have changed, and that would have been a real giveaway. Point 2. CC23 was a closed invite-only event. I messaged Steve Tran and spilled my guts to the guy to get an invite. Then I was told it was $15K and I had 1 week to decide. I spent every day for the whole week debating if I would parse off some of my low 6-figure savings for a weekend mastermind in Spain. I lost sleep over it that week. The next week, it was on Luke's story and Steve's story as an open thing anyone could pay $15K to get a ticket for. What was the 7-day deadline about? I could have bought the ticket 2 months later and it wouldn't have made a difference. The invite only and the 7 days to decide, as far as I could tell, were marketing tactics to leverage a decision. This wasn't an exclusive invite-only event where I'd be a small fish among 100 successful entrepreneurs as I was led to believe by Steve. This was an open to anyone with cash on hand event. Then, as time went by, the story became, hey, we only have 2 or 3 spots left. That was 2 months ago, brother. Last week I saw the same story, 2 spots left, come grab them. So what's real? How many people got the last 2 spots? Was it really 2 or was it 20? I can't tell, and as much as I respect Luke and want to trust there's a good story there, I live by a code of conduct, and regardless of how much respect someone garnishes, I always honor my code and act with vigilance. Point 3 is about this very video assignment that this is based on. Do we have 24 hours or 48 hours to complete this challenge and make the YouTube video, Luke? In this email, bullet point number 5 says you have 48 hours, but 2 sentences below that, you have in all bold text that we have 24 hours. It's one email, brother. If you're paying someone to write it, fire them. Or if you're writing it and you're in a flow state just hammering this stuff out, hire someone to proofread your stuff. You've got more than enough money to have a secretary. Hell, I know guys that have 10 people that they're emailing to, and they have their email proofread first. You just emailed 30,000 plus people about a $15,000 opportunity, and you left a major typo in it? Is that really the level of competence that they're playing at over at Capital Club? Or is this part of a systematic play to get a few thousand page imprints with the name Luke Belmar in the title, and a few thousand more the following day because that's how the algorithm is weighted for news stories to trend, with a huge wave in the first 24 hours and more staggered in the 24 hours following? If it's the latter, are we really proving that we're glitches by listening to you? Or are we proving that we're agents stuck in another systematic matrix? When I weigh these things, the conclusion I come to is that I can't tell what's real or not. And I believe no reasonably intelligent person could. Luke asks people to operate on faith and trust. In my experience, when people ask you to operate on faith and trust, usually they want something from you or to use you as a pawn. It's not that it's unheard of for real motherfuckers to ask you to operate on faith and trust. But if you operate in that way as the mode, you will end up being taken for a ride. I'm no pawn. I can add real value. I'm a real glitch. And this competition assignment shit, this is not what a real glitch would do. A glitch would take this single opportunity they have to talk to you and ask you what this is about. Are you worth following? Is your pursuit of purpose more than a pursuit of money or not? You always ask in Telegram if we're real ones or if we're just full of shit to ourselves. Are you a real one, brother? I want to believe you are in my heart of hearts, but I continue to look to see it. I'm not giving you 15K on faith and trust when I've not sat with you to measure your stock for myself. I do not expect to win this competition of clout, but I do expect you to see that I'm a real one, glitching through the matrix, trying to find other glitches to unite with and a dojo to train in. I plan to pay the $1 a day for Capital Club, but I want to be involved beyond that. I want to be one of the 300 spots in the dojo. Ask me for something other than my money. Tell me to do something meaningful. I can add value, and I want to help on your mission, but only if your mission is as it appears at face value. I do not mean to sound if I have animosity, though I am sure I will come off that way. The world exists as it does beyond our subjective bullshit, and if you also perceive that objective world, you should behave in a way that does not mirror the prevalent scams, misdirection, bait and switch behaviors that are in the market. From one glitch to another, be a good king, stay humble, pursue more than just money, and I'll see you at the top.